If there's one character that I feel has just an egregious amount of wasted potential in My Hero Academia, that character has to be Bakugo. What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. And I know you just heard that and you're thinking to yourself, what do you mean Bakugo has wasted potential in MHA? He's got stuff going on from the final war. He's got stuff going on in the anime. He's got stuff going on in the movies. What are you talking about? Well, at least for me, Bakugo suffers from the fact that he essentially disappears for a good portion of the story in the Overhaul arc. Like it, in my opinion, it did damage to his character. Perfect example. Season 1, we have Bakugo being the antithesis to Deku, essentially being his antagonist for that season. Season 2, we have the tournament arc where he essentially was popping off. Season 3, we have Bakugo getting kidnapped by the villains. We have him confronting Deku about One for All, essentially knowing that Deku has One for All. We have him blaming himself for essentially All Might losing One for All and him feeling like he's the reason the world lost the world's greatest hero. We have him then we then have Deku and Bakugo having their big climactic fight to essentially put their beef aside. And then we have Deku, All Might, and Bakugo all forming like a little bit of a group of people that know One for All in the story. So they're all now going to be working together to help Deku get ready for like any big threat. And then after this, Bakugo disappears from the story for pretty much like almost half a season's worth of content. And then they don't follow up on the stuff going on with Deku, Bakugo, and All Might until season 5. What are you doing? What? This was such good, but this was such wasted potential. What are you doing? Why was Horikoshi not following up on this sooner? Why didn't you put Bakugo in the Overhaul arc? Oh my god, dude. The more I think about it, the worse it gets to me. Because Bakugo, in my opinion, suffers because he doesn't really have a villain that he can call his own. Bro, put him in the Overhaul arc and give him something, man. Give him something to do. Like Bakugo, in my opinion, like Bakugo has good stuff going on for him in the show with his dynamic with Izuku, but dog, aside from that, he doesn't really have a lot of good fights or anything like that. If you really think about it, like him like all the way up to season 3 is Bakugo at his peak. You have season 4 where it's the Overhaul arc, and you think this would just be a perfect arc for Bakugo to just pop off in. Like, just, I don't care. Give him just anyone to fight. It would be great. I get he's in the remedial course arc and all that, and that's Horikoshi's reason for why he can't be in it. But dog, that's whack, and you know it. It's so dumb. That just felt like an excuse to like keep the cool characters out of that arc. Uh, that's what it felt like to me. Like, just keep Bakugo and Todoroki out of the arc. But dude, in my like it, and this really only hurts Bakugo because Todoroki still has stuff to do later on in the series. Like he's still got stuff going on with Dabi, so he's fine. Bakugo as a character essentially stalls out until the war arc where he gets impaled by Shigaraki, and then he stalls out again until the final war. Like he stalls out again as a character until the final war where he dies. Like he has so much wasted potential, dog, when it comes to just being a good character. Like I get we have like the Deku apology shit and stuff like that. I didn't really like the Deku apology. I thought it was ass. I thought it could have been better. But oh my god, man. Bakugo as a character just he has it's just it makes me upset, man, because the first 3 seasons of My Hero Academia for Bakugo as a character hit different. Like that's some of my favorite Bakugo content. And then you get season 4 and he just disappears from the narrative. Like, and it hurts his character in the long run because Horikoshi doesn't really give him much to work with, and the stuff that he does give him to work with isn't written well. Oh my god, man! Like, what were they doing? What was Horikoshi thinking, man? Like, I get why you want to put Bakugo in a remedial course. I understand that. At the end of the day, I understand why Bakugo needed that because he wasn't really a good hero, essentially. But, dog, the fact that he's missing from the Overhaul arc actually hurts him as a character. Like, it just does, man. Because like there's so like a lot of these characters that are missing from the Overhaul arc, it doesn't matter because they didn't really matter in the story to begin with. Like Sero and Sugar Guy and all them, like they didn't really matter because they're kind of like tertiary characters that Hori says they're important, but they're really not important. Like, bro, stop lying to yourself. They're not that important. Like like I don't give a shit about nobody gives a shit about Sero or anybody like that. So it doesn't really matter. A lot of those characters just straight up do not matter in the grand scheme of things. Bakugo being as important as he is, just being sidelined for like almost a whole season's worth of content is just wild to me. Like I get that we have the what was it called? The Culture Festival. I get we had that going on after the Overhaul arc, but again, man, like it doesn't make up for the fact that we have one of the biggest arcs in the series and Bakugo is nowhere to be found. And like it just didn't make sense to me. Like at the end of the day, I get why Horikoshi didn't put him in, but if you really think about it, that gap of just no content for Bakugo does hurt him because when you look back, he doesn't have a villain to call his own, right? Like Deku has Shigaraki, Todoroki had Dabi, Uraraka has Toga. Bakugo doesn't really have anyone. Like and you can't say don't say all for one. All for one sucks. Please don't say all for one is his villain. No. Just no, please. I beg of you. Like everyone had their own villain but Bakugo. I feel like we needed like something to give Bakugo like his own antagonist that would carry him throughout the rest of the show. Like it just it's just unfortunate, man. Like Bakugo as a character was so good for the first 3 seasons of My Hero. Like he stalls out as a character in season 4, and like it's essentially Hori trying to like piece stuff together for him like after the Overhaul arc. And honestly, like I don't know, it kind of hurt. It kind of hurt Bakugo as a character for me. But let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about Bakugo as a character now? Like, do you feel like he was impacted by the gap of content for him in season 4 with the Overhaul arc? Or do you think Bakugo's story ended pretty much perfectly? And they're honestly like him being missing from the Overhaul arc didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.